Welcome to the fight of your life. Are you willing to die to shine? Nobody is taking us down. We are here for the crown of sound.
Hey, we're backstage at Sonic Temple 2023. I'm Matt Pinfield, and I'm here with Synyster Gates from the band Avenged Sevenfold. So good to see you, man.
Good to see you again.
I was thinking, we haven't run into each other in probably since around the time of the stage. So it's been a good 7 years or so.
Easily 6, maybe 7 or 8. Even.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy.
I was thinking, man, did I run into you in your hometown? I was thinking about you and Matt and Huntington Beach, because I love that town so much where you guys come from.
It's a fun town. It's
definitely
fun,
and it's a beautiful place. Riding bikes on the beach, just hanging out with people, good food. It's there's just a good scene down there. It's great.
Really is.
Is that why you've always stayed there? You said I love it here, man.
All of our friends and family are there. The band's there. It's just one of those things. It's where we all went to school. I wasn't born there, but I was raised there. And a lot of the other guys were born and raised there. So I don't think there's any leaving.
Yeah. So you got to tell me about your dad was a musician as well.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he was in Sam the Sham's band for a while.
Oh yeah. Wooly Bully or whatever.
Yeah, What about it? And there were some other cool songs like Little Red Riding Hood. Yeah. There was all these cool tunes. But that's great that your dad was doing that and comedy and playing a bunch of different things. Tell me about what was it like the household for you when you were a kid? Because I know you got turned on to everything from jazz to rock. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it was a pretty unique experience. It didn't feel like that at the time. It just feels like, that's what it is. But a lot of music in the house, a big variety of music. But I remember sometimes being pissed when I had to listen to something over and over that he was learning or getting ready for a tour for that I didn't like, because that's the coolest thing that I think is the coolest accomplishment to me. It's like top 40 stuff where he's learned every single fucking song within the course of 20 years. He had to learn every single thing that was current and popular at the time, plus a whole host of other popular music and stuff. So his knowledge is just uncanny to say the least. And a lot of the times it was super annoying. A lot of the times I was like, oh my God, what song is that? I need that. And he introduced me to a lot of stuff that way, and just hand-me-down stuff. Like, here's Sgt. Pepper's. This is the best fucking album in the world. Check it out. Fucking hate it, Dad. And then 2 weeks later, it's like, you're right. What else?
It's one of those things where, it's like, Dad's listening to this, and then you're like, you spend a little time with it, right?
Yeah, everything abstract has taken me a second, and now that's that's all I want to consume. But yeah, when you're young and you're just used to drive around the car with Mom, and it's fucking K-Earth 101. It's our little local oldie stations, and that's all I really heard. And then just wild stuff coming from my dad's bedroom, and he's learning some shit. It's a small house, so you could hear everything. It was pretty interesting.
That's amazing. And for you, what was that gateway thing that those bands and records that made you say, I'm going to pick up a guitar or something I want to play?
Led Zeppelin, Black Dog, they were doing a KLOS commercial. That's another kind of classic rockish sort of station, but it was on television.
I'm still on there, believe it or not.
Yeah? That's amazing. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So it just the intro to Black Dog comes on. They just let that song speak for itself on their commercial, and I would beg my dad for 2 years to teach me that riff, and he's like, you got to learn some other shit before you jump straight into that. I haven't really played guitar, just used to holding it. I think I was about 6 or 7 at the time. And then Guns N' Roses, seeing the November Rain video, was like, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So those two things, I think, musically, and then that visual, didn't make me want to go out and write music, but it definitely solidified that I was going to do something in the music industry, specifically guitar, and hopefully touring, in and out of studios like my dad did. So it's a different version of kind of what I wanted to do originally, but happy with where we're at for sure.
You gotta be, and isn't it cool that you guys are friends in school, that whole thing? I mean,
it's the best.
That's the one thing about Avenged that I think is really special, is that relationship that you guys have had for so long. You know what I mean? It's the kind of brotherhood.
Yeah.
It's a unique thing, right?
Yeah. It really, that background allows you to work through anything. I mean, when everybody has different kids, and they're having kids at different times, and everybody's kind of going through, a lot of our phases has kind of like chronologically aligned and stuff like that. But there are certain things that people kind of go through, and it's a little bit maybe out of alignment of the, Avenged Sevenfold vision. I've definitely gone off the reservation, but we're just very good at communicating. We really, really love each other and just wish each other ultimate happiness. And that comes from a very deep place. So there's no where I think a lot of bands develop resentment and certain things. That's just not within our culture. It's not even within the realm of possibility for us, just because of our long and deep history.
Yeah, and it's a great one.
Yeah,
I want to talk to you about, we're here at this festival, and you guys came back swinging in such an incredible way. Welcome to Rockville. And
yeah.
We're here at Sonic Temple. What was the first, for you, seeing music live? Do you remember the first show you went to, and what was one of the most memorable ones that you loved when you? Years?
So I'm not really a live music kind of guy, funny enough.
Yeah.
I like records, and then some people want to hear them played differently, and I not so much later on in life, but I remember being young and being disappointed with live records. I just think I was just too nerdy and too much of a perfectionist. I wanted them to execute it even better, not different, not crazier, and I just wanted it better in a sense, and I've learned to kind of tame that a little bit. But my first concert, I think, was Beach Boys or Black Crowes, one of the earlier on, and it was a really incredible experience. You could feel the vibe. But yo, we're doing an interview. Can you give me a sec? Sorry. They're not going to listen.
Yeah.
So basically it was super cool. But you're leaving that didn't kind of sound like that. I don't know why that is, or why I even mention that. I try not to fucking sound catty in my old age, but I don't know.
I got to be honest with you. I was the same way when I was if I had the studio version of an album and I really liked the studio version, and the live album came out, and if it was vocals were off or just something was sloppy,
right.
I was like, oh man, I was the same way as a kid growing up. I liked the studio. If I was so used to that blueprint in your mind,
100%
of the studio version, I would be like, oh,
why do you want to hear a sloppier? And some people obsess over that. They want to see the different nuances and they love it. And I think if you're in the moment in a live setting, you kind of let it go a little bit. But it's I like that you bring up for me it was what was the Led Zeppelin live.
Song Remains the Same.
Song Remains the Same.
Yeah.
And I was it was the first one, my first live album experience, and I was so disappointed.
So
was I. That's crazy.
The funniest thing in the world. It's funny you say that, because I was the same way until they put out How the West Was Won years later.
Yeah.
And they played really well during that period of time.
Yeah.
I remember Jimmy Page saying, maybe I shouldn't, when it comes to Song Remains the Same, maybe I shouldn't have stayed up for 3 days doing Blow.
Yeah. And he always wanted to do different solos and stuff like that. And I appreciate that much more now. And then later on, he was like, and I also want to play the exact thing now because I want to prove that I can do it, which I wouldn't want to prove. He's got nothing to prove. So it's just, I don't know. In the moment, I guess live shows are kind of cool, but not a live record. Fuck.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. So
we'll never do one again.
It was I felt exactly the same way. Sin, I got to ask you too about so we've been waiting and we're really excited about the album. Life is But a Dream. I love that you guys came up with that name, because not only is it an old doo-wop song Shaboom, right?
Yeah.
But it's so many different. Hey, Moss, get out of here. Moss before the flame, right?
Omen.
Yeah, but tell me a bit about kind of the process of making the record, and when did you guys decide it was a good time to get together again and start writing? How was that? Were you guys doing kind of family things and kind of living your life?
Yeah, we started writing right away. We canceled because of a vocal thing, and so it was kind of a bit of a sadness for us because we were really excited about that tour.
Yeah.
And so music was still kind of there. We didn't feel burnt out at the moment, you know? And so what else could we do musically? We could get in the studio and start writing. And so we did. So, we set on a path to get better, to have families, and to write a wild record. And yeah, that's just been pretty much the main few themes of the last 5 years. It's
Yeah.
like kids, development, so family, development, and a record.
Yeah, and it came out and it's great. We got 2 songs already now, and
Yeah,
by the
thank you.
time people see this, they'll have the whole record, which is next
Oh,
week.
crazy. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a week away. It's wild.
Now I know that you, as a musician, your musical taste is everywhere from like goes from like Mr. Bungle to Steve Vai to I mean, there's
Yeah.
just so many things you like. What is it? Are you looking for as a guitarist, as a person who loves to write? Are you looking for things that really interest you? Is that what you're looking for when it music that moves
You know who I guess yes, it's hard to say. It's just the only thing it's not maybe what I look for, it's just what happens when music that I fall in love with, like how it makes me feel. And I think everybody knows that feeling, whether it's different for everybody, but it kind of just compels you. It possesses you, and you think about it all day every day, and you want to consume it all day every day. And then you get addicted to that feeling. You're constantly chasing the dragon, and it's cool not to be so old man yells at clouds yet. That things that come down the pike, like 100 Gex or Billie Eilish, things that make people feel old don't make me feel old yet.
Yeah.
I say, to me, I'm like, okay, what are they doing? How can I do that? And how can I not sound like an old man pretending to be Billie Eilish or 100 Gex? And we spend, a lot of time with those tools. We all have really nice home studios with all the cool gear, digital gear, the gear inside the box, as we call it. Tons of amazing toys and tools to play with to evolve the sound.
Yeah, and you have, which is what you can hear it on this new record. You can hear you guys doing different things.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you've always continued to develop that way. When it comes back to the live show, we're talking about these festivals, and now you guys are headlining, and it's crushing it. You still got? Do you get a lot of enjoyment, literally, out of seeing? Not only how the band has grown over the years. I mean, you guys. I remember, when you got your first opening dates with Metallica. Like I was following you for a very long time, and been kind of there from the very beginning, right? So
absolutely. Thank you.
and so I love to see the progression has been really great. How does it feel? Is you still must get a lot of enjoyment out of coming out and doing like a DWP festival, these are really
for sure. We had a great dinner with both Dannys the other night, and we're very fortunate to have unbelievable camaraderie, not just within the band, but within a good network of family, and to have that support still, and quite possibly, if it's possible at all, to have it be a stronger support system, is just it's incredible. So having the big 5+ years off really highlighted that perspective, and to come back here, you always believe when you see things online, they're done, they're washed up. That's why they're selling NFTs. That's why they're fucking doing this, talking about tech. Just give us a fucking record, that type of stuff. In the back of my mind, I'm like, we have a record, and this one's fucking, this one's something to be reckoned with. And I know the fucking offers, and I know who's supporting us, and I know what shows we're going to be playing. But you fucking shut your mouth. It's nose to the grindstone. You keep building. And then now you're here. And after 5 years, now it's only 7 days till this fucking record's out. This is my 3rd show now. Like, the band's fucking just killing it. Like, the energy live is insane. The stuff that Matt's fucking singing is insane. I'm just, that perspective is really special to me right now, because I don't think I had it before. It's just literally you fucking tour it, plug into an amp, you write it, you plug it into a console, and you fucking record it, and then you tour it. And it's cool, and you're proud of that stuff, and very proud at the time too. You never spare an expense or anything like that. But to say that you don't ever get dull or a little numb to that, especially when it's so nut to butt, back and forth. You take a month off in between the cycles to go on a quick fucking vacation that feels like 2 seconds, and then you back to writing a record, because we don't just sit there and crank out a record in 6 months and then tour for a couple it's fucking a year to a year and a half per record, and then a year to a year and a half, maybe 2 years for. So our cycles are pretty long, but we're always working. We're working hard, and we don't stop until the record's done. And sometimes those records take a little bit longer, and they're a little bit more challenging. So yeah, this one gave us, a pretty big body of water in between the previous chapters and this one to really appreciate that new perspective and really, feel and appreciate what we have right now that we built and that others have supported us and built with us. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible thing. I also have to ask you, you did this great warm-up show that anybody who saw us talking about. It was a venue that you could have fit, like, I guess maybe 5,000 in. You only had 2,000 there. It was kind of it was a pop-up show basically. And
yeah, it's a pop-up. It's sold out. It was sold out at, I think 3, maybe you can squeeze 5 in there, but we capped it at 3 and it sold out. So whatever we could have put in there, we did. We thought it was going to be 500 or 700 people. We didn't think it was like the night before. That's crazy. But yeah,
guys from every band were showing up, and a lot of people were coming out and seeing. Did you see a lot of old friends and dudes, guys you were touring with? Before?
Yeah, absolutely. Saw Chad and all sorts of amazing people, and a lot of our families were out and stuff. It was pretty special, and that was kind of the first one. It was a surprise, so you're not like, okay, there's going to be thousands of kids here. In fact, you're hoping it's more like 500, 800 after you haven't played in 5 years. But 3,000 or 4,000 people or whatever it was screaming at you, you can feel some serious energy there, and it was a really incredible show for us.
Yeah, I think it's so great you did, and we're really so happy to have you back, have you headlining so many of these festivals.
Thank you.
And hanging out with you. It's just great to see you out and about again, Sin,
We're out in the wild.
We're
out in the fucking
wild. It's great. I'm glad everybody's families are good, man, and everybody's feeling good.
Everybody's families are great. Everybody's feeling great. Yeah, it's just really a rewarding time for us.
Yeah, it's good to have you guys back, man.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks for doing this, Sin. It's great.
My pleasure.
Synyster Gates right there, hanging out right now, backstage with Avenged Sevenfold. And they're headlining tonight at Sonic Temple. I'm Matt Pinfield. This is the Power Hour, Access TV.